Hi, this is Mark Stern. Uh, Today I want to show you how to use Social Explorer, which is an online GIS program to complete the maps and reports you need for the first assignment. We're going to start at the library website, and we're just going to type in Social Explorer under Find It. Click Go. And then it'll bring us a link to it. Click on the link. It'll ask for your pen key information. Click on that, and the program will open. Uh, Essentially, we're going to do two things. We want to create a report for a particular neighborhood, and then we want to create a series of maps around that neighborhood as well. All of this is going to come from the Maps and Tables screen. I'm just going to click Start here. First thing we're going to do is create a report that gives us an overview of the census data for a particular neighborhood. The place we're going to look at is, of course, in Philadelphia, so we'll go to Philadelphia first. And it's going to be in South Philadelphia, so I'm going to zoom in down here. It's this neighborhood down here, which is really only about a 15-minute walk from Penn. The South Street Bridge is right here. The neighborhood right across the bridge is called a variety of things, including South of South. You walk through South of South, you come to the area just below it, south of Washington Avenue, which is called Point Breeze, although there's a fight about that these days as well. So let's create a report. We go to this toolbar over here and click on Create a Report. We have to make three choices in terms of the report. What kind of data do we want? What year data do we want? What type of report? And then what's the geography? So I'm going to go to the most recent American Community Survey. The American Community Survey has more or less replaced the decennial census as the major source of social information. Because it's only a 1% sample, however, to get information on small geographies like a census tract, you need to group together 5 of those surveys. So the most recent is this 2008 to 12 survey. We're going to ask for the comprehensive report, which gives you the broadest overview. And then I'm going to select a geography, essentially by clicking on a set of census tracts that make up Point Breeze. And for your report, you could pick either a bigger or smaller area. Okay, and then I'm going to click on Show Report. It opens the report. I'm going to change this. You can see there are 8 different columns in this report, so I'm going to change this to 8 so that we can see the whole report. And you can see down here are the various variables: age, race, household status. We can go on and look at the next page, hopefully. Occupancy, types of housing, kinds of fuel, poverty status, which typically is an important issue for us. So you can see this tract has a poverty rate of 36%. By contrast, this tract has a poverty rate of only 16%. And overall, Point Breeze's poverty rate is 28%. Okay, so it's on the screen now. We want to save it. Easiest way is through Excel. Just request it as an Excel spreadsheet. It'll spin its little wheel, and then finally it'll download the report. If we go to Downloads, we can find it right over here. Now it gives you this dopey little message, so ignore it. Just type open and repair, and you don't want to see the log because it's a waste of time. And there's your report, and you can see it pretty much looks like what was on the screen. but now you have your permanent copy that you can look at in your leisure. Okie doke. Great. So the next thing we want to do is make some maps of Point Breeze. So we're going to go back, start again. There's probably some way to get immediately right back to where we were before, but you can also just start again. Here's Philadelphia again. We can zoom in on Point Breeze once again. And what I'd like to look at, because it's one of the things that's interesting about Point Breeze recently, is what we're seeing is a shift in the color line, the line that separates predominantly African American neighborhoods from neighborhoods that aren't predominantly African American. It's been quite dramatic in South Philadelphia over the past generation or so. So let's start with the 1960 data. So I'm going to browse by survey. I'm going to go to the 1960 census tract survey, and I'm going to look for the race table. And I'm going to ask for percentage African American. Now, these are the default colors that Social Explorer creates. If you use this little arrow here and pull it down, you can see you could change the cut points if you're motivated to. Right now, let's just change the colors. I like multicolored maps because I think it's easier to see the two extremes, not just what's going on in the middle. So I'm going to use this full spectrum map, which is kind of a little showy, but effective. And you can see that in this map, with this color, these dark blues are areas that are overwhelmingly African American, including in 1960, West Philadelphia and north of Market Street are Point Breeze and South of South neighborhoods down here. And then if we pull up, you can see North Philly was the largest concentration of African Americans. Now, it goes without saying that we can also look around the city for areas where essentially there were no African Americans. So especially in 1960, you can see there's a very clear color line that separates areas where African Americans live from areas where they're more or less excluded in 1960. Okay, so we're going to try to save a whole set of maps. So another useful feature of Social Explorer is this storybook feature. So I'm going to click Tell a Story and Start a Story. And it's essentially whatever map I have up, it will save over here. So right now it's saving the 1960 map. But I'm going to focus it a little more on Point Breeze. So here's South of South, here's Point Breeze. The division between the two neighborhoods is Washington Avenue, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to save that as my first map. And then let's move forward to look at 1980. Once again, I'm going to select the table. One thing that changes over time is how the census deals with Spanish or Hispanic origins. Here we're going to look at race by what in 1980 they called Spanish origin status. So these are essentially African Americans by clicking black there. So that creates that map, and we'll save that over here. We'll create another map, and let's jump forward to 2000. In 2000, I think they changed the name again in terms of, so here we're going to look for Hispanic or Latino by race. And we're going to look at non-Hispanic, Black, or African American. And we'll save that here. And then finally we'll add one more and go back to our 2008 to 12 file where we started with the report. And again, we'll look for Hispanic by race. And African Americans. And we have that there. Okay, so now we theoretically have 4 maps. We can preview, see how we did. If we start at the beginning here, 1960, 1980, 2000, 2008 to 12. And you can see that essentially especially beginning after 1980. First south of South, and then Point Breeze to some extent shift from being predominantly African American neighborhoods to more mixed neighborhoods. Okay, we can end the preview, and we can use the export button to save this as a PowerPoint. Click on Prepare to download. And click on Download. You're going to want to give it a name. I'm going to call this Point Breeze 2 because it's the second time I've tried this. Okay, so that's it. Have a good day.